So just a quick recap on AUDJPY. I was expecting a sell from these levels right here up until we reach the 90% of this structure right here, and my reasons for me to expect sellers to take the market all the way to the downside was because of this trend line right here. So if we can just go on to the daily time frame, we will start seeing clearly how the market has been respecting that trend line, and that trend line was also respected when the market came back for this third touch right here. So how this candlestick closed right here, how this daily candlestick closed right here gave me a confirmation to say the market is now ready to push all the way to the downside, right? So this whole rejection right here was a confirmation for me to say the market is gonna shoot all the way to the downside. When the market reaches this lower trend line for the third time right here, that was going to be my first profit, right? And then my second profit was going to be when the market reaches this level right here, which is the 90% of this whole structure right here. So we were expecting this kind of movements. We were expecting how the market did previously right here on this structure to be repeated on this current structure right here. But unfortunately the market went back up and then broke above this trend line right here. Immediately when the market broke above this trend line right here, I knew that the market was not gonna come back to these levels again. So the market took me out. The market took me out on this AUDJPY. So this to show us that this is to show me that I'm not gonna win on every trade that I take, even though your setups are A-type setups. You're not gonna win on every setup that you get, you know. So moving on to the 1 hour time frame, I also had another confirmation to say the market is getting ready to push to the downside by this head and shoulders pattern right here. Remember on these levels right here, that these levels right here was that candlestick rejection that we saw on the daily time frame, right? So when we get onto this 1 hour time frame, we can see that this was a head and shoulders pattern, that being the head, that being our left shoulder, and that being our right shoulder. So I entered the market immediately when the market broke below this head and shoulders pattern right here, and then my stop loss was just above this right shoulder right here. So the market pushed all the way to the downside, and then the market came back up and then took me out and then continued to move to the upside. So moving forward, let's take a look at other pairs that I got involved in. Let's take a look at CADCHF. When we look on to CADCHF, so when we look on to this CADCHF, the market was, let me just go on to the 4 hours time frame. Here on this CADCHF, the market was around these areas on this CADCHF when I analyzed, right? So I did expect the market to come back to these areas right here to test the breakout of this level right here, right? And the market did come back, because immediately after the market broke above this previous high right here, immediately when the market broke above this previous high right here, I knew that the market broke this level and the market must come back down to respect this level, or to create a series of higher highs and higher lows, right? So immediately when the market broke above these levels right here, I knew that the market was about to change direction, right? So this is what happens when the market breaks out of the structure. We will see the market pushing to the upside and then coming back, and then maybe when the market comes back and then breaks above this previous high, we expect the market to come back to that level, right? And then continue moving higher. So this is a series of higher highs and higher lows, that being our higher high, that being our higher low, that being our higher high, that being our higher low. So immediately when the market does something like this, it means that the market is getting ready to push all the way to the upside, right? So I entered the market immediately when the market came back to these levels right here, and then this was just my trend guideline, just to guide me through my entry, right? So I entered the market. I didn't enter the market immediately when the market came back. I waited for the market to break out of this structure, right? This trend line, this trend line of this structure. So the market eventually broke out of this trend line right here, and then the market came back to test that broken trend line, right? And then I had that guideline right there, which the market failed to break below, right? So when we say the market broke out of the structure, we mean to say that the market should break the structure and then break the previous low of the market, right? That is when now we would have expected the market to push to the downside and then continue moving according to the way it's moving, right? Then I entered the market on these levels right here, and now the market is just pushing all the way to the upside, and I am expecting this market to push all the way to the upside until it completes the 90% of this structure right here. So now what I can do is to remove this trend line right here. I was using this as a trend guideline. Now that the market has presented us with a continuation pattern right there, I expect the market to push all the way to the upside after the market completes forming this continuation pattern right here, right? I expect the market to push all the way to the upside until it completes the 90% of the structure. So moving let's quickly move to USDCHF. This was another pair that I had analyzed. And then I had my entries on it based on the monthly time frame, right? Based on the monthly time frame. I don't know if this is the right one. USDCHF. Let me just take this one, and then let me just remove all drawings. Let me just remove all these things right here, right? So here on this right here, if I can just go onto the monthly time frame, as I explained before when I analyzed this pair right here, this being our previous analysis. Let me just remove all drawings. So based on my previous analysis, I did explain that because the market has broken below this previous monthly candlesticks right here, we can see that the market pushed all the way to the downside, and then we had that push back up to respect the breakout of these previous lows right here. And I did say that this whole month of June we will see this USDCHF pushing all the way to the downside, because it has already come back to test this level to confirm that it's gonna push all the way to the downside. So this whole candlestick is this monthly candlestick of June, right? So this whole month of June we will see the market pushing all the way to the downside. So if I can just go into the lower time frame, maybe being the 4 hours time frame, we will see that the market had already presented us with some sort of structures, which I had some entries on, but the market eventually moved according to how it wants to move, because we trade according to how the market is moving, not to what we expect the market to move, not to how we expect the market to move. We trade what we see than to trade what we think, So I had this structure right here, which was on the 30 minutes time frame. This was to confirm what I said on the monthly time frame. This structure has just been broken below, so I expected the market to push all the way to the downside when the market came back to test this level, but eventually the market went as higher as I never anticipated the market to push all the way to the upside again, only to come back to this side again, So I believe that I had my entries above these levels right here. I had my entries above these levels right here, my stop loss just being above this level right here, and then I anticipated the market to push all the way to these levels right here. But unfortunately the market went up, and then the market took me out right here, and then it came back, and then it played around. This was some sort of a consolidation, and that consolidation has been broken. So now the market is just pushing all the way to the downside, and then this is to say that we are not gonna get those perfect trades, even though it's a loss, we are just gonna move forward and look for other things in the markets. The aim is to make as much profit as we can, and then minimize our losses, so this is what I had for this week. I'm looking forward to more trades during the next week, So I'm just gonna share my analysis based on what I'm seeing this next week, this upcoming week.